Hey, it's Greg Harrelson again with, of course, my business partner, Brendan Payne, and we are going to continue, sharing our thoughts with you on, how we can continue to grow a business or sustain a business, stay in business in the real estate industry during these turbulent times where we're dealing with volatility in the stock market, the coronavirus, and so many other, things that are just facing us right now. Brendan, I think, we started talking about in a previous video what had really shifted, and I think we agreed that the shift was really shifting from certainty to uncertainty. And it seemed to be like a light switch. It just happened overnight.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully we got the point across to the audience, to our agents, of what we meant by that. Now I think we want to talk about, what are some of the shifts, some of the things that we need to be doing right now in order to, continue to be open for business and grow our business during these times. The first one, or the first thing that I thought of, it was the business plan. I think we need to, whatever business plan you created at the beginning of the year, let's call that plan A. It's like, this is my plan. Well, now you can just take that one. There's no need for you to archive that anywhere. You can take it, you can burn it. It's gone forever. Plan A doesn't exist. Done. Now we got to have plan B. And plan B is what I want to talk about today, is what is plan B, the new business plan based on a shift from certainty to uncertainty. So, Brendan, what are your thoughts on this? I think you said before we even get to the details of the plan, I know you wanted to talk about maybe one or two things. Why don't you go ahead and open that up?
Yeah, so I think the first one, I love the fact that we're going back to the business plan and that we're scrapping the first one, because a business plan really is only a 30-day business plan anyway. And we're going to talk about that because you should be reviewing it. But this is going to be at some point behind us. And at that point, then we create another one. But for right now, before we even get into the business plan, if you're a business person and you're listening to this, then you are committed to getting through the other side. There is another side. We don't know where it is, when it is, but there will be that other side. Then as a business person, you have to know your numbers. And one of the things I know you and I have been doing for a while, is you have to take a look right now at your expenses and really be realistic. Really be realistic in anything that you're doing that was maybe it was a little return, but it was just kind of, you just didn't focus on it, or you didn't really dive into it, then that probably needs to go. Anything that wasn't a return, but for whatever reason, you were too lazy to change it up, or maybe you needed to spend some time tweaking it to get a good return, that probably needs to go. The things that you can do that are making sense financially in your business, keep doing them if there's a return. If there's not, you have to ask a tough question. And is that something that you need? Because worst case scenario, if you need that cash flow, then it's too late after it's gone. And we don't know what's ahead of us. So I think as a mature business person, you have to review expenses first, then get into, all right, what's this new plan look like? And Greg, your point of this is a 30-day plan. Shoot, we might have to adjust at some point. So you got a 14-day plan.
Yes. Yeah.
We might have a 7-day plan if they say, here's some new rules.
That's a great point. So it's a 30-day plan with a 7-day review. Right. And so I think that's where we go with this. It's like, we've got a plan B. We've got to create a new business plan. It's got to be for 30 days. So I really think that it's important to emphasize what you just said, is like, if the market does turn down, which today we don't know what's going to happen, but we're assuming that there could be some decrease in sales. We know there's been fall throughs all across America. We've even experienced it in our own office. So cash flow is probably going to go down. I mean, it's pretty certain that that's going to be the case. So one of the first things you can do is you can become, some people would say you need to get defensive with your expenses. I actually think you need to get offensive. I think instead of like feeling like we've got to defend ourselves from losses, what we got to do is we got to offensively go look at all the expenses that we've committed to and do what you said, Brendan. If it's not paying a return, then cut it out. Cut it out. You know, one of the greatest things I think, and I'm patting both of ourselves on the back, which seems a little bit kind of egotistical, but I would say one of the best things that we do at our company is we give coaching for free. We don't charge for coaching, right? Mm. So these are just like these videos are just part of what we do. We're constantly coaching our agents to help them get through this. See, that's probably your best return. So not only should you look at your expenses, but you want to also look at how much you're engaging with the coaching, because the more you engage, and it's free, so you're not having to pay coaching companies for this, the more you engage, you're going to get better returns. You're going to really excel, and you're going to, do better in this business. So look at your numbers, your expenses, and also increasing your engagement. Now, on the business plan itself, I wrote down 3 things that I think it should consist of right now. And that is, number 1, it should include your routine or your morning ritual, but it should include your routine. It should include your activities, and it should include some accountability. Mm-hmm. So let's break these 3 things down very quickly. Routine. What are some things that need to be in the business plan based under the category of routine?
Well, here's your opportunity. If you really have got two positions right now, if you already are in a really good, strong routine for your business, then you have to keep it going. You have to keep it going. So all of a sudden, just because you've changed up some of the things that are going on, or your audience is a little bit different, then deciding to sleep in every day until 9 o'clock when you used to get into the office at 7:30 is an absolutely awful, terrible move, because you'll get in the habit. You will adjust to what's comfortable when there's a lot of stress coming on. And the comfort level of just not doing what you're supposed to be doing is going to be really attractive right now for a lot of people. So stay with the routine that you have if it was built off your business plan and your goals. Then I think if you didn't have that routine, now's the time to get it, because what else is going on? What else are you doing right now besides really just, trying to figure out how do we get through to the other side? And then of course, taking care of your family and friends. What's important to us right now has really narrowed down. That's the thing that I'm realizing, like the amount of things that are going on that I'm concerned about has gotten really, really concentrated.
Yes, that's a good point. So in routine, so the alarm should be set at the same exact time that it was already set.
Yep.
If your alarm goes off at 4:30 or 5 or 5:30, then keep that routine. Don't allow the activities, the market conditions to shift your personal routines. Keeping your routine the same is going to be critical. If you work out, then continue that routine. If you show up at the office at 7:30, well, maybe right now your office, maybe it's closed. You can't go into your office, but show up in your home office at 7:30. If you get in the shower at 7 or 6:45, then get in the shower at the same time. When you get to your office, even if it's your home office, in other words, keep the same routine. When you get to the office, your home office, do the same thing that you would be doing if you would have went to your real office. Keep the same routine. If you were generating business from 8 in the morning till 10 in the morning, or 8 in the morning till 11 in the morning, keep your routine. Schedule that. Now, the key is, Brendan, some people are going to go home and they're going to have families to deal with. Mm-hmm. Right? And it's going to be a little bit harder. I think that in itself should be a video because I have thoughts on that, on how to get family buy-in. So we'll save that for the next video. But the key is when you're working at home, make sure that you keep the same routine. So what about activities? Because I think we need to keep it simple. And you said that to me, Brendan. Hey, the business plan needs to be simple. Mm-hmm. It's not even a full-page business plan. It's not a 5-page. It's not even a 1-page. It probably needs to be a half of a page.
Yep. And
what goes on that?
So in activities, I've got one that is absolutely, I think it's going to make the difference between coming out of this running and coming out of it crawling. And that
Okay.
is
I
your
love it.
skills. That is your skills. You have never had a better opportunity right now to make progress in communicating with the seller by working on your skills, because when we come out of this, that consumer is going to be back to demanding skills from their agents. They are going to be back to demanding skills from the agents. The people that have come in and had an opportunity just to do deals just because it was everybody's happy, the market's great, I've got all these things, if it sells, it sells, no problem. That's done when this finishes.
Dude, I haven't even thought about that. You know, like in my mind, I'm thinking, hey, we've got skills. Thank goodness we've got skills. And let's be in communication. But the expectations of the skill sets, the professionalism, the knowledge and expertise, the expectation that the consumer is going to demand from their real estate agent is truly going to go to a whole nother level. It's going to level up, notch up significantly.
Imagine the contrast at some point in the future when you've got a highly skilled agent in front of the consumer who is consumer focused, problem solving focused, and offers options for the seller versus the agent that the seller knows just came out of a whatever this ends up being and is probably financially very concerned about what's going on, and they really need that deal to close. Yeah, look at the contrast and what the consumer is going to feel between those two different agents. This is the time, and we have time.
Yeah,
there's going to be other changes. It's going to allow for some hours in the day. Become an expert at communicating.
So I like that you're building in today's activities. You're building in, you want to make sure that there's an activity there that actually helps when we start accelerating out of this curve.
Yeah, because the reality is, I mean, I think we're naive to say that if you had 40 contacts on your schedule and calling all of the expireds, withdrawns, and making 3 hours of just listed, just solds, then I think it's naive to believe that it's going to look exactly the same at some point over the next few weeks as it did January 5th. So let's be real with that. And now let's say we're professionals. We've got X amount of hours in the day for our schedule. Here's your new schedule based off your new business plan. Here's some other activities. And I don't think you can invest in yourself and your skills. There's not a better one out there.
Yeah. Okay. I agree. So some other activities I wrote down here is you've got to make outbound calls. You've got to call past customers, your past clients. You've got to call your centers of influence, and you've got to call your database. Those are three categories that everybody has: past clients, centers of influence, and some sort of database. And you could spend a couple hours a day, every day for the next 30 days, just working those three categories. Now, I put those categories first because, you know, depending on who's listening to this right now, some people may say, well, I don't want to prospect. Hey, no problem. You know, I don't call making those calls. I don't call that prospecting. You're communicating with your audience. These are people that are warm to you, and all you're doing is checking in with them. So included in your activities needs to be making outbound calls for a certain amount of hours. And I'm not going to tell you how many hours because each one of you have different goals. But, you know, I always recommend 3 hours, but you will choose based on what you're looking to accomplish. So you've got to make outbound calls to past clients, to centers of influence, into your database. Now, somebody's going to say, Greg, what do you say? Hey, if you do nothing more than call and say, hey, Brendan, it's Greg Harrelson. Just wanted to touch base with you. I know there's a lot going on, you know, across America right now. I just wanted to check in to see if everybody's okay. How you doing? Is everyone okay in your family? Like that right there will build so much trust, loyalty amongst the people that already know you, that then at some point in the conversation, it will come out. You'll say, hey, is there anything I can do for you? Whether buying or selling, you know, is there anything or anyone you know, anybody I can help? And if you're coming from a place of, hey, how are you doing? Is everybody okay? From that standpoint, they're perfectly fine with sending you referrals if they know that you actually care about them. That is an activity that needs to be put into the business plan. Now, I believe you should have a specific number of hours and a specific number of contacts that you're committed to making.
Yeah.
What else for activities?
Yeah, and I just want to mention on the specific number, this is a time where, it's always easy for us to just say we go through the motions and we don't have that number of contacts, but you have to set a number on these because it's going to be tougher to get a win in our minds. We're used to a win. You set the appointment, you go get the listing and you get a contract, you have a great negotiation, you get a great review, all those things. It's going to be a little tougher for a short period of time for us to feel those wins. So we have to kind of change up what's a win for us. Mentally, psychologically, give yourself some goals that you now can hit and then feel better like you're still in business. You leave on vacation, you get out of your routine and you feel a little funky, and you stay on vacation long enough and you feel better, but this isn't going to be that vacation. You don't want to get into that funk where you're out of touch with what you're doing on the business. So I think putting a number to it's really good. The other thing is, it should go without saying, but we've got to mention it on here, your business plan. Love on your active clients.
Oh, good one.
We're going to come out on the back end of this. Be there for your actives. Be that calm for them. So, and that doesn't mean, hey, when are we going to get back in the car and go work on finding you a place to buy here? It just means be in communication. Check in on them. Serve without asking for anything in return on both your buyers and sellers. And on the sellers, just understand where they're at. If you've got some things going on in your head and you're nervous and you got some concerns on stuff, then just understand every person on the other side of that phone, on the other side of that email is going through their own version of whatever is happening. So have some patience and be there for them.
Yeah, that's solid. So I'll share one other activity. So 2 activities, or we've actually said, I think 4: call past clients, call centers of influence, call database, call your active clients, but set an exact number. The reason, again, I can't set everyone's number on this video because one size doesn't fit all. It is dependent on what your goals are. I know Brendan and I are working with all of our agents in getting an understanding of what are you looking to accomplish, what are your goals, and then we'll kind of guide them and recommend certain contact levels and activity levels based on what they're looking to accomplish. So that's why we're not really stating it on this video. But one other one, I would say you've got to be visible. I think you need to set a goal for how many videos that you may create in the given week, and have that on your business plan. Give some updates on what's going on, when it comes to number of showings, days on the market, price ranges, number of listings, fall throughs, all the different things, good or bad. People will not judge you based on if your information, if your facts and data is good or bad. They'll actually acknowledge you if you're just in communication. Mm-hmm. So that could be another activity that you want to put in your business plan. The last one here is accountability. I was just thinking about it, and the last couple of days, my mind has been very occupied, and it's been hard to actually keep that workout routine, mm-hmm. right? And I was just thinking, it's like, gosh, I don't want to go to the gym. So then obviously that's my first one, right? I don't want to go to the gym because, there's too many germs at the gym, right? Now, I actually believe we probably shouldn't go to the gym right now. But then the other side of me is like, that was my excuse. Like, I don't have a gym to go to, right?
That will end too. You can't have that forever.
That's right. That is true. So, it will end too. It's going to end right now, actually, because of accountability. So I started thinking, it's like, gosh, I probably can find a few people that would be interested in doing a workout outside. And they would be interested in doing it at 5 a.m. where no one's going to be around. We just go outside, we do a workout together. And now I've set up accountability. Mm-hmm. Accountability is more important today than ever because we have every excuse. We have every reason. We have more logic than we've ever had before to flake. And that's the time you need to have good accountability. And good leadership will be is able to bring accountability to the group of agents, and they're able to go ahead and monitor, manage, coach to that accountability without feeling like you're being micromanaged. That's not what it's about. It's about just making sure that we're being responsible with the commitments that we've made.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And there's a term that it's funny how when things happen that somebody or a group of people starts using a term and then it ends up everywhere. And the term that I'm hearing a lot with this pandemic thing that's going on in the stock market is lean into it. I have
Yes.
countless people have been using the term lean into it, but I think it's appropriate. And I think it makes sense in this situation under a lot of different circumstances, with what you said. So instead of retreating in this, and go into the comfort level where we know no growth takes place when there's comfort, all the growth's in discomfort. Well, we got some built-in discomfort.
Yes.
Use it. Lean into it and see where you can go, see where you can grow from here, because the retreat is going to be, I mean, that's natural tendency. It's an unknown, but man, not on your business. You've got to lean into this one.
That's awesome. Yeah. Let's go on the offense.
Yep.
Let's go on the offense. Okay, good. Well, hey, let's wrap this one up. We don't want it to be too long, and we've got some other subjects that we want to get to. I think one of them, I want to talk about the getting family buy-in at times where we may have to spend more time working out of the house. So that'll be the next one we do.